This is the Athlete of the Week, and it's brought to you by Diamond Point and Sauk Center. And with us here on Mid-Minnesota Sports is a Melrose athlete. This is Daniel Clausen. Well, let's start out with your family, first of all. Who's in your family?
Well, I've got 4 sisters. I've got Brianna's the oldest, then there's Emily. Kimberly's younger than me, Elise is younger than me, and then I have a little brother named William. So 5 siblings.
Okay, and who are the mom and dad?
Paul and Becky.
All right.
Yep.
Tell me more about your dad. What does he do?
He's a pastor at Birch Hills Community Church here in town.
Okay.
We started about 8 years ago, and
All right. Was there something, did you just move to town at that time?
Yes, yep. We moved here to plant the church. I was born in Arizona, actually.
All right.
We moved to Wilmer, stayed there for a year, stayed in Sauk for a year, actually, and then moved here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming from Arizona, what do you remember from there and then coming here, and what has it been like?
Well, it was quite a while ago. I was pretty young, but definitely the hot summers in Arizona and the bitter cold in Minnesota is just drastically different. It's crazy.
So you're a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you have a lot of responsibilities, huh?
I do.
What are some of those?
Well, I lead worship sometimes on Sundays, play guitar and sing. I have responsibilities in the youth group and everything. I lead worship there too, so yeah.
And setting up tables and chairs and...
Oh yeah, come in early, set up sound and everything.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what is it like? How did you get into, obviously, your connection with your dad, but then how do you feel about as you get up there and worship? A lot of pressure on you there?
Yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking at first, but once you do it multiple times, you become more comfortable up there and more confident.
It seems to me that you get involved in a lot of things. What other activities are you involved in?
Well, I was in Boy Scouts since I was 11, and I graduated when I turned 18. I did baseball until 9th grade, and I stopped then, and I've done football throughout high school as well.
Schaefer put it high off the glass as the 6'6" player closed in on him. Marshall penetrates down, kicks it off. Clausen with a move, and he scores! And he's fouled on the play, so Daniel Clausen, the Eagle Scout, with a big basket for Melrose. I want to touch on, tell us more about being an Eagle Scout.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a huge honor to have reached that goal. Not a whole lot of scouts do, and it's just really great to be able to accomplish that. Yeah.
Take us through the steps of that. When does that start? Again, as soon as you enter Scouts, what is the process there? Right,
you start as a scout rank, you move up to tenderfoot, and then second class. All these different ranks require different advancement requirements, like you learn to do this first aid thing, or learn to tie this knot, or something like that. And then after second class is first class, Star Scout, Life Scout, and then Eagle Scout. And
not too many people do the Eagle Scout to get that far, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what does it take to do that then?
Well, there's one huge requirement as your Life Scout to become an Eagle, is that you have to have an Eagle Scout project.
And what was yours?
I renovated the indoor of the food shelf.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So what did it look like? What does it look like now?
Well, when you first walked inside, it was kind of, Catherine just described it as dreary, and I made it cheery, is what she said.
Okay.
But I painted the chairs, but they looked like they got pulled out of a dumpster, a bunch of folding chairs. I painted those. I built a closet for the inside, a magazine rack, and a new sign as you walk in. So kind of just little things to brighten up the area and make it more cheerful to the people that come in.
You know, as I watch you play football and basketball too, we talk a lot about being a good teammate. You seem to be that. How would you describe, what is your definition of being a good teammate?
Definitely being supportive of other people's roles, but I think a big part is to just know what your job is, to take care of your job. And if you do your job, all the rest will follow if they do theirs, and just as long as you do your part. I think it's a big part of it being a teammate. Well,
and to know your job, how do you get to know that? Just through the coaches and listening to them?
A lot of that too, yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah.
It seems to me too that you have a big giving heart. Is that just kind of your background in your family?
Basically, yeah. I mean, I was raised in a very Christian family, and that's taught me a lot of things. Definitely being able to give and being able to do that with everything that's going on. So.
Yeah, describe that a little bit more too. What does your faith mean to you personally, and how do you bring that out then to some of your teammates, if you do at all?
Well, right, yeah. As I go to school or to practice every day, I try to be kind of like a light shining for Jesus, and to be able to do that is a huge honor, and to even just being kind to the one guy who isn't being kind, who is being like picked on and everything. Just little things like that things I try to do on a daily basis.
Because I'm sure you see, as yourself, you have ups and downs in athletics, don't you?
Exactly.
And so when somebody is down, what do you do?
Well, you pick them back up. You say, hey, you're fine, you get them next play. That's just what you got to do.
Also, too, as I watch you play football, let's touch on football first of all, that you've improved a lot through the years that as you played your senior year, you were making an impact on the game. How would you describe, how have you improved as a football player, and how did you do that?
Well, I think I never really had the size build for football. I've been kind of like a little skinny as I was growing up and everything, but I think definitely when my junior year came, I tried really hard on scout team, and that kind of caught the eye of the coaches, and I did a little bit of minutes at D end on varsity my junior year. And then senior year, we had a lack of O-line, so I stepped in there, and that was huge for me just to be able to do that, even though I'm skinnier, taller, just to be able to fill that beefy role, you could say, was pretty cool.
It seems to me as I watch Melrose football, and I've touched on this with other players too, you guys are pretty tight, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a brotherhood, definitely.
Yeah. What is that like take us through game time or leading up to that the game that you're going to play? What is that like?
You come to the locker room nice and early, you're getting ready, you're kind of focusing, have your headphones on, but at the same time you're encouraging your teammates, walking them through certain plays, saying, hey, you got this, man, this is your night type thing. Yeah, definitely a lot of support from all the guys.
And so now as you're playing football your basketball now in your senior year, what has basketball been like for you? Again, take us through that progress that how you've improved yourself.
Definitely. Coming in ninth grade, I was very uncoordinated. I struggled a lot with that. I was a tall guy. That's basically what got me playing time. You know, I get some rebounds, get some blocks, but not a whole lot of ball handling at all. And I still struggle with that. But as I moved to sophomore and then to junior, I gained a little more confidence with that, and definitely something I still need to improve on, but something I definitely get a lot better on.
Well, as you talk about your role, though, say again for basketball, what is your role? What are you expected to do out there?
Well, when I go in, I'm expected to definitely play great defense, block some shots, box out a whole lot, get some rebounds, and to just kind of keep the ball, don't turn the ball over type thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got some competition out there, though, on this basketball floor in the West Central Conference.
Got the height, yeah.
Yes, being yourself 6'6", but you've got Jennison and Sauk Center at 7 foot. Mm-hmm. You've got Karstens at Minnewaska at 6'10", yep. And you've got Henry at Bold. You've got Logie down at Morris. Mm-hmm. What do you do with these guys? You know, because as you're playing against these guys, what about defensively? What do you try to do against them?
Well, a big thing is when they're posting up on you, you want to push them as far as possible. That's the main goal, and you just can't let them go baseline. You just got to stay behind them and just play the best straight-up defense you can with them. And
so offensively, when Melrose has the ball, what is your task out there too? What are you trying to do to help the team score some baskets here?
Well, I set some great screens on special plays, and I kind of just move the ball around, keep a lot of motivation into that.
You know, as we touched on too, being a good teammate, that everybody wants to play, everybody wants a lot of minutes, but you've got kind of almost 3 players in one, it seems. Yourself and Hellman and also Cheetah.
Right.
How do you guys accept that kind of a role?
Well, yeah, we all bring something different to the table. Like Adam, he brings the ball handling, the speed and everything. Carter brings a lot of moving on with the ball and everything. Some great defense too. And I just bring like the size, I think, and that's great. Like we all are kind of combined into one player, can sub off the bench at different times and just help out the team in any way we can. Say
for example against the ACGC, I think you had about 6 or 7 blocks, right?
Yeah.
So good D by Melrose here. The 2-3 is working. Here's a drive by Laver, blocked by Clausen. That's his 7th. Up ahead to Bregelman. He's going to be fouled. He'll shoot 2. You know, that's the presence of Daniel Clausen. That's the difference he can make for this Melrose team. At 6'6", get a hand up. You know, whether you block it or not, at least contest the shot. And the main thing is, too, don't foul. Yeah. What is almost the art of blocking to block the shot but then yet not to foul? What do you try to do?
Well, the main goal right away is to stay straight up, arms way up, but to just stay in front of the guy, too. So when they go for a shot, they pump fake wherever, you just stay down, and you just, I don't know, what I do, I just stay straight up, and my length really helps me with that.
And again, touching on basketball here as you're getting closer each game to the playoffs, how do you see this Melrose team right now? Where you guys started from and what you're doing now? How is this team getting better?
I think our seniors and our senior captains are gaining a lot of confidence and leadership as we go on. We struggle a little bit at the beginning of the season, but as we continue to play, we continue to improve in that. And I see us going a long way in March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But again, there's competition out there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you like that?
Hey, competition's good.
Yeah.
Makes us better, especially as the season goes on.
So now that you're a senior, what are you going to do with yourself after high school here?
Well, I haven't decided on college yet, but I'm thinking maybe some part of engineering, maybe.
All right.
Yeah.
And what does that get you then when you say something like that? What kind of a job?
Well, maybe like designing things, maybe mechanical engineering, or it could even go to chemical with like designing different like formulas or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Broad range.
Do you do okay in school?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get by with that.
All right. Well, what kind of classes do you like?
I like math. Math is my forte. Struggle a little bit in science, but
all right.
out there in math.
Just one more thing too is I see the Melrose athletes and especially just the student body. What is the atmosphere like going to Melrose High School here? Just it seems to me that everybody's so supportive, from the female athletes to the male athletes. You all go, and what is that like for you?
Well, yeah, definitely. Fan section the student section is so strong, and just when they go out there, cheer on the teams. Even they come to other sporting events like swimming, come cheer on those guys. Western, come cheer on those guys, and I don't know, it kind of just feels like everybody knows what's going on and is supportive of everybody. So
as you've started from Arizona, you get to Minnesota. Are you happy here that you're a Dutchman?
I am. I'm happy where I ended up and just glad to be here.
All right. Well, good luck to you. You're going to do okay, I think.
Thank you.
All right.
That's
Daniel Clausen. He is the Athlete of the Week, and it's brought to you by Diamond Point and Sauk Center here on Mid-Minnesota Sports.